to the Bible.
That's right.
And the reason that we in the condition that we in today is because we broke God's commandments. And he put curses on us. Give me book of Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
It says, it shall come to pass, meaning a future prophecy. If we will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, meaning this Bible, that he was going to put curses upon us, and he was going to overcome us. Give me verse 46. This is the purpose of these curses in these last days, because we're going to forget who we were.
Bring it out.
Read what you got.
Deuteronomy 28, 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
It says, and they, meaning these curses, were going to be upon us for a sign. What is the purpose of a sign? A sign is used to identify something. Like we know that there's a McDonald's over there because of the sign. A Shell's gas station because of the Shell. These are signs. So in these last days, these curses are going to identify who the children of Israel are today.
Right.
And as we go through these curses, you're going to realize that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we fit these curses according to the Bible.
Right.
We are the Israelites.
That's right.
Give me 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
Did you finish 46? Finish that.
46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
And a wonder. We're going to wonder why we're going through the things that we're going through these last days. Why we're getting gunned down in the street by the police and they're getting off. And why we killing each other in the streets. Why we have so much hatred for ourselves. This is the wonder that our people have. You know?
And upon thy seed forever.
Forever. Moses said this over 3,000 years ago. And he's saying curses upon us in 2017 today. It said forever because we continue to live in sin. We continue to break God's commandments. Give me 48.
Deuteronomy 28, 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
So since we didn't want to serve God, we got to serve our enemies now, you know?
Which the Lord shall sin against thee.
The Lord did this to us because we broke his commandments. They didn't come against us on their own free will. The Most High God put the Spirit on them to come and deal with us,
right.
You know?
And hunger.
It says in hunger, we got to serve our enemies in hunger. Who do we go to for food? Who own the Winn-Dixie, Lion King, Food Lion, and all these other things like Publix? Who own these things? God say our enemies, we got to go to them for food, you know?
Right. And thirst.
And thirst. If you want Sprite, Coca-Cola, you want water. Water is a natural resource that falls freely from the sky. We got to go to our enemy for this. If you don't pay your water bill, your enemy is going to cut it off.
Right.
Give me Lamentations, what's that? Chapter 5, yeah.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 7. Lamentations chapter 5, verse 7. Okay, verse 4. Lamentations chapter 5, verse 4. We have drunken our water for money.
So we have drunken our water because God created all things for the Israelites. We are being charged for our water, you know?
And our wood is sold unto us.
And our wood. Because, like I said, God gave the earth in abundance of all things to the children of Israel. But our enemies have conquered us because we broke out God's commandments. And now they're selling our own possessions back unto us. Brother, you got a question? You got a question, brother? Say, who is Jesus? He's our Savior. Give me Acts chapter 5.
Look it up.
Jesus is God. Jesus is God? Yeah. No, they said. Give me Matthew 9. They're not the same. They're two different people. We're going to show you.
Matthew.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
We'll go Matthew chapter 6, verse 9.
Look it up.
After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father, which art in heaven.
This is Christ telling us how to pray. He didn't say to pray to him. He said to pray to the Father. Right. Letting you know that there's a separation. There's a difference between the two. You understand?
Yeah,
Give me, all right.
Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
You understand that? So, do you have any more questions? Like who you are? What's your nationality? Haitian? According to the sign, you'll be from the tribe of Levi. You would not find Haitian in the Bible. God never called you that. Give me Deuteronomy 28:37. This was placed on us in slavery. When the so-called white man grabbed us from the west coast of Africa and brought you over there to Haiti, they named you that. Haiti means hell, and that's what y'all were giving them so-called white man. That's what y'all got you. Say it again. But your name is still your name is still Levi. But Francois, that's your name. Like, that's what God placed on us. That's who you will always be. You would not be a Levite. I mean, a Haitian. It has nothing to do with you, you know?
Let me show you something real quick. Go to Genesis 49. The brother is telling you that you are an Israelite. I saw you across the street, right? You had any questions on the flyer? You look at it, glance at it. Look on the top of the flyer. What does it say on that? What does it say on that? It said the truth about slavery. What do you know about slavery that we're telling you you don't know about? You know everything about slavery, right? In your mind, right? What are we saying, the truth about slavery that you don't possibly know about? What are we telling you? What we're telling you, when you look at that flyer, is that slavery actually was ordained and set up by God. You understand that? A lot of people think that it was just bad people that enslaved people. No. The Israelites were chosen by God. Real quick, 6 and 7, show you that real quick. I'll show you who we were before we got to this point and who we are today. Let's show you our beginning. Deuteronomy 6 and 7. 7 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
At one point in time, and we still are, but we're not at that status yet, physically, right? Financially, whether it would be economics and warfare, we don't have our own government. We're at the bottom. But at one point in time, we were close to the Most High God. We were set above all nations upon the earth. But you know what happened within our history? We broke God's commandments, and therefore we fell under the curses. Give me that book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. Then we get Genesis 49.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses.
All of these curses, let me ask you a question. A curse will be what? A good thing or a bad thing? A bad thing, correct? So it says, if you don't listen to these laws, statutes, commandments that I'm setting before you, all of you are going to be cursed. And he's speaking to us as a nation of people. Every last one of us, a nation of Israel. Read. Let's jump down to verse 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee.
Wherever you was carried captive, even in Haiti. I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm going to show you why the so-called Haitians are going through what they're going through today because of what happened back then. It ain't about a coincidence that that's one of the poorest on this side of the world. The poorest country on this side of the world is set up by God. You know why? Because you were the priest. When you look at the tribe of Levi, they orchestrated the sacrifice of the Lord. We were to go to them to atone before our God. They had a high status. They was the leaders. We went to them to inquire of God. Since they failed, the Most High brought them down low. And I'm going to show you that in the Bible as well. Let's read some of these curses. Read on.
Deuteronomy 28:45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Destroyed mentally, because the children of Israel are still here today. They just don't know who they are. Read.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which I commanded thee. 46. And
they, meaning the curses, read on,
shall be upon thee for a sign.
What's your name, brother? What's your name? Huh? I can't. Brother Dave. I'm Kabash. Brother Dave, let me ask you a question. What is a sign used for? What is a sign? What's a sign? You mind me using the mic? You mind me using the mic? You want me to get off the mic? You want me to get off the mic? Feel comfortable if I talk off the mic? What is a sign used for? Think about it. What's a sign? How you know where you were going today? If you was going to the right restaurant, how did you know? Come on, talk to me, Brother Dave. Let me ask you, what is a sign? I want some feedback from you because I want to understand what you know. What is a sign? It's a direction, right? And a sign identifies, correct? All right. So these curses were going to identify something. Check this out. Let's read verse 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Matter of fact, get verse 64 first.
64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
And the Lord was going to scatter the Israelites among all people. You look on the front of the sign, these are the Israelites. The Lord was going to scatter them amongst all people. Read.
From the one end of the earth, even unto another. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Read.
Even wood and stone.
Read.
65.
Now jump down to verse 60 now.
Verse 37.
He said we was going to be scattered amongst all people, and we was going to be serving other gods. We're going to get into some of that as well. We was going to be serving other gods which our fathers have never known. Now verse 37.
37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
What's a byword? What's a byword? Think about a byword. A proverb. What's a proverb? Byword. If I call you, your name is Dave, right? And I say no, your name is not Dave. It's just let me see. Give me some
Terry.
Terry, right? Or Jonathan, right? Is that your name? Is that your name? I say Jonathan. Well, what have I given you? A name outside of your name that you was given for birth, correct? Right? The bywords were going to be the same thing. We were going to be called by different names. The example I can give you in the movie Roots. You ever seen movie Roots? No? But there was a scene in the movie Roots. The Roots is about black slavery, right? There was a brother, an actor, in the movie, his name was Kunta Kinte. You understand? You with me? His name was Kunta Kinte. When they brought him on this side, the slave master beat him until he was forced to call himself by the name of Toby. They changed our names in slavery. So our names were going to be changed. So later on in history, what happened in our history, we began to recognize ourselves as these names that we were given. We no longer identified ourselves as the children of Israel. So now, being destroyed, we were going to need signs for us to identify ourselves by what God called us. You understand, Brother Dave? All right, let's read verse 68. Here's a sign.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Egypt is synonymous with bondage. Let's get that real quick. The word Egypt translates to bondage or slavery, right? Let's get that real quick. Let's prove it. Let's prove all things out of the Bible.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of bondage. You understand that? Let's go back. Let's go back. The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, or bondage. You didn't need shit. Give me this sign real quick right here. Hold this up, soldier. Turn this around. Okay, right here, when we received this warning, we was right here. Excuse me, hold up. We was right here. Right here in Mount Sinai. We was on our way right here to the land of Canaan, to Israel. You see this right here? You see that? Egypt is right here. You had southern and you had northern Egypt and southern Egypt, right? We walked into Egypt. We walked out of Egypt. We wouldn't need ships to go from here to here.
Bring it up.
You understand that? That's like saying you want to take a plane from here to Rosemont. You understand? It doesn't make any sense. We walked out of that land. So what was Egypt talking about? Again, bondage or slavery. Now let's make it come together. Let's read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68.
You can drop that sign and give me the other one. The one with the slave ships. We got it. You can hold that one up. Let's hold this one up. The second one you got right there. Yep.
Read that. Deuteronomy 28, 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
The condition of Egypt. Slavery. What were we in Egypt? We were slaves in Egypt. We built the pyramids. We built the treasured cities. So when we heard Egypt, we already understood what Moses was talking about. Okay, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, slavery. What read?
Again with ships.
Did that happen to your ancestors? How did you get to Haiti? Did you walk? Did you walk? With ships. Come on, Dave. You know you ain't walked to no Haiti, right? You were brought there. Your forefathers were brought there and enslaved. You know the story. All right, then. So let's come with it. You brought there by slave ships. That's how you got there, right? Exactly right. By the French. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
In your homeland, we didn't see no more again. Haiti is not your homeland. You were brought there. That's your slave drop-off. That was your prison.
Right.
Okay, you understand? Read on.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemy.
And when you got off of those cargo slave ships, turn this sign, this last sign over here. And when you got off of those cargo slave ships, when you got to your destination, you shall be what?
You shall be sold unto your enemy.
See these signs that we got up? We were sold. These are some of the signs that they put up. Here we go. Cash. This was a real flyer. We just put it on a poster so our people can see it. Cash. All persons that have, it says all persons that have slaves to dispose of will be given by, hello, I can't see that thing. All persons that have slaves to dispose of will do well by giving me a call, as I will give the highest price for men, women, and children. Will you hand real quick? Any person that wishes to sell will call at Hill's Tavern or at Shannon Hill for me. Any information they want will be promptly attended to. Thomas Greggs. This is Charleston Town, May 7, 1837. This was a flyer, brother. Now let's read the bottom of what Deuteronomy 28 verse 68 states. Read.
Deuteronomy 28. And thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen.
For bondmen? He was asking for men. Read on.
And bondwomen.
And bondwomen. Hold up. That little bottom part of this flyer. Let's see what verse that fulfilled. Give me that in verse 42. Is that 42? 41.
Deuteronomy 28, 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters.
We was going to have sons and daughters in this condition in captivity. Read on.
But thou shalt not enjoy them.
You was not going to enjoy your son or your daughter if you had them in captivity. Because why? Read.
For they shall go into captivity.
Because they're going to go into captivity. Man, they're going to go into slavery conditions. We had children. You see this, brother? Come closer. You see this right here? You see these sisters out here in this cotton field? Who is this right here? This is not an older sister. This is a young girl out in the cotton fields. Brother, this is what happened to us in slavery. We're not reading an allegory. We're not reading a parable of the Bible. We're reading curses that literally happened to the children of Israel. This is how we know that you are an Israelite. You're not a Haitian. That's thus saith the Lord. Now, real quick, let's get some of the characteristics. Now, real quick, give me verse 48. Check this out.
Deuteronomy 28, 48.
Check this out.
Therefore, shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, and hunger.
You want food, where do you go? You go to the store, right? Who are the people that owns the store? Do you go to black people? You get black faces in there, right? Like you go to Bravo, you get black faces in there. But if they need shipment or they need food to come to the store, who is the man behind the curtains? Who actually runs the organization? Huh? White people, right. And that's not racist. Hey, they own it. That's it. That's the truth. We shouldn't be scared to say that. They own it. What about your water? You live here in Orlando? You pay OUC, right? Does a black man owe OUC? Do black people? Sister, let me ask you. I'm gonna get you sister involved too. Sister, does a black man? I spoke to you before. You was in Rosemont, so you know half of the stuff we go through. Do black people own OUC? OUC, the water company? Do we own that? You don't know. Okay, Brother Dave, let me try you. Do we own that? Who owns it? You know that for a fact, right? You just said that, right? You know that for a fact because it's true, right? What about, read on. And in thirst. And in nakedness. And in nakedness. Where you buy your clothes from? From the store. Who owns the store? Like you go to Maxi Plaza, right? What's the faces you see up in there? You don't see no black people in there. You see black people buying the stuff. Right. Who's the faces up in there selling us the clothes?
Right. Bring it out.
Would you say Chinese people? People outside of your race. Let's make it plain, right? Where you buy your clothes from? City Trends over here? Who's the face of that? White people. You understand what I'm getting at? What type of people in there? What kind of people in there? Okay. When he gets his clothes to put in that black store, where does he get the clothing from? Brother, it's always going to go back to one race. Who is that? Who owned the clothing? Where you get the clothes from? The Raw Textiles. Where did he get the clothing from? He get it from the enemy, brother. We don't own these things. Understand that. We are captives. We don't own anything. We might have a blessing here and there to get by, but guess what? Everything we own comes from a nation outside of our own race. Understand that. Let's read on. And then once of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Hold that sign up real quick. And he, hold on, I think it was this one. Follow me, Brother Dave. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you. Let me know what I'm signing at. Yeah, here we go. Read it again. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. You see this right here? We didn't create these. This ain't a brother that's in our church and we had them reenact this right here. This is a picture of what they used to put on our necks. This is an actual slave. This is what they used to put around our necks and our ankles. This is a cage they would have put around us to betray us as animals. You got some more pictures on that? All right, here we go. Check this out, brother. We ain't just making up stuff up here. Let's get this right quick. All right, let's read verse 37. Let's finish that off. And then we're going to get that. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Mentally. Until he have destroyed thee. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far. From the end of the earth. Here's the point, Brother David. I don't want you to miss this. Check this out. Watch this. As swift as the eagle flying. As swift as what? As the eagle flying. What was the emblem of the French? Called Haitians. What was the emblem? What symbol did they carry to represent themselves? If you don't know, that's fine. I'll show you right here. Somebody get their phone out. We don't have that one on here. Somebody give me their phone. The French eagle. Here we go. I'm gonna take you down the timeline. The Greeks, eagle, same race of people. The Romans, the eagle, same race of people. The Spanish, the eagle, same race of people. The Americans, the eagle, same race of people. Here go the Arcs of France right here. See this? See how their construct is very similar? These are the same people with the same spirit. Who got what I want? Turn it out to the brother right here. You see that right there? Let him read it. What type of eagle is that from? What type of nation carried that? What does it say on that? Read it out. The French. Read that bottom part again. Read. As swift as the eagle flying. It said a nation that is going to conquer you put you in cargo slave ships, enslave you, your mothers, your fathers, your children, and put yokes of iron upon your neck, they are going to represent themselves as the eagle. And what was going to happen in our condition of slavery? Verse 37.
Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
And thou shalt become a what?
An astonishment.
Here's some of the astonishment. The atrocities committed against the Israelites. What is it? What are we showing you? Human zoos. Human zoos. Look at some of these pictures, brother. One of the many human zoos in France. This is another Negro village in France. It was called the World Fair, where nude or semi-nude black women and children were presented in cages. They would come here. This was their Walt Disney World. This was their Universal Studios. When they come and looked at us in these cages, this was their astonishment. This was their entertainment, so you can understand. Here we go. Here's some more right here. In Florida, Seminole Indians Zoo from Florida Everglades at 1965 New York World's Fair. You don't see this stuff on TV. They don't show you that on Discovery Channel. Brother, this is what happened to us in slavery. These are the people of the Lord. The Lord said, you went through this because you rebelled against me. Now we have the, you can put the signs down. Now we have the place and how we serve. Let's get how we identify you as a so-called Levite. I mean, a so-called, let's get the nationality that we know to you to, oh, excuse me. You a so-called Haitian. Let's get your actual nationality out of the Bible, which is Levi. Let's get that, Genesis 49.
Bring it out.
We'll go Genesis chapter 49, verse 5.
Let me know if I'm going too fast. I have a tendency to talk fast, so I'm gonna skip it over. But I want to show you this real quick, and those way we can get through Christmas. You celebrate Christmas? I want to show you that as well. I want to show you that as well. Genesis 49.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you.
Check this out. Here's a very important point, Brother Dave. Check this out. And Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, right? You with me? You with me? Brother Dave, you with me? Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And he gathered what?
Gather yourself together, that I may tell you.
No, who was he calling?
And Jacob called unto his son.
He called unto his sons, his biological sons. There's a reason why I'm stressing that point. He called unto his biological sons, read on.
That I may tell you which shall befall you in the last days.
He said, gather yourselves together, come close, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to you in the last days. We are in those last days, you agree? These are the things that were going to identify us in our last days. We already got the destination. Wherever slaves were dropped off, that identified them as the nation of Israel.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.